is Andreas Breivik. I'm an art critic and art history student. I'm here with Victoria Duffee.
Hello.
To show Puttanesca we're looking at today.
That's right.
Me and Vic, we have been looking at arts together before. We had a journal called Visa for Kunst.
Yes.
Today the tables are turned. We're looking at your art.
Ah!
And it's all about going back to the roots, because you are from New York,
Yes.
where you studied at School of Visual Arts.
Yes, yes.
And then you told me you worked as a curator.
Well,
group
I
shows.
would curate group shows sometimes around, and
Yeah. And the first time we met actually was in LA, in your apartment, because there you and Charlie made a group show.
yes, yeah.
In 2014 or something.
Yeah, it was 2015 because it was a year before I came here, and yeah, we kind of like curated the show to. I wanted to bring artists from New York to LA, and he wanted to bring artists from Norway, and it was a really good time because it was like Freeze was going on, so everyone had an excuse to be there anyway.
Yeah.
Or some art fair and the art book fair.
Yeah, art fair.
Yeah.
So you had a guerrilla.
Yeah. We had a little.
But and then you were showing the Norwegian artists were like Jorunn, Hanke, Augstad.
Anna, Karina, Behagla.
Yeah.
Anna Katrina.
Yeah.
Anka.
And then you moved here to Oslo, where you got a dog. You got married to Charlie. There's a kid
I got a
on
kid.
its
So
way.
I got a master's degree.
You got a
first.
master's degree too.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're also a stepmom.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Steffi.
So you're very based in Oslo now.
Yeah, I'm very much planted.
Yes.
Yeah.
But and then I thought we're going to talk about this show. I thought we should start talking about this spaghetti puttanesca for the end of the long nights.
Yes.
It's
Well,
all about spaghetti in the show. You understand?
everything is about spaghetti with me. But the spaghetti puttanesca is like okay, like the first time I ate a spaghetti puttanesca, like I could taste myself identifying like with the food. I was like something about this.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my god, this is so good. And my mom was like laughing, and she was like, this is the spaghetti for like prostitutes. And I was like, oh my god, that's like kind of great, because it was invented from, you know, the girls coming home late at night and the kitchen is closed already. So all the ingredients are like sort of things that you would have in the kitchen, like in the back of the fridge. Like, oh, maybe I could pull some anchovies out of this jar and some olives and stuff like that. And then you just cook it all up. And it's really good. It's like super salty, seafoody thing.
Seafoody.
Kind of it's like a little bit seafoody, but not that much.
Yeah.
Just a little smack in the ocean.
But do you want to, or because it's a textile, but also painting. If you want to just say briefly about what you've been working with.
Oh yeah. Okay. Before. Let me like pull my gem of spaghetti. Okay. Yeah. Well, I have been working with painting onto textiles because when I was a student at SBA and I was studying painting. And I was also studying, and I split, most people didn't do this, but I split my major sort of like between painting and sculpture. And so that means you usually get 1 full year in like the painting studio or in the sculpture studio. And I did mine in half, one in each, because I couldn't, I didn't want to be like, yeah, I'm a painter. Because there's just something about painting that feels, you know what, it's like a personal hang up really, but it's like, painting is masculine. It's so masculine.
But it's also so filled with. I feel like whenever there's a painting, you have this whole history of like painting that you have to like schlep around. Yeah. But maybe not so much with textiles, or.
Yeah, but there is now I've learned that there is more of a history with textiles too, and I'm like into the history of painting and all that stuff, but I felt like there became like this sort of like painting is dead, painting is not dead. We do figurative painting. Like, no, we just make like really stupid abstract paintings that are lazy. And I would get into like these moods where I agreed with like very strongly with like all the different, but I couldn't. That's like, you kind of have to pick a lane when you're doing that and stick to it. And I was like, no, I'm too. I'm not like gonna do that. And you know, like I love Francis Picabia, like old artists of like old 100-year-old artists. You know, like he would never do like one thing.
No.
So I ended up, when I lived in LA, I lived near the fashion district, and I would go and spend my like weekends and all my money on like buying like weird fabrics and stuff to like work with and paint on, and so that's how I ended up working with textile. And then I came here and like learned more technical things about it.
We're also going to see this like tablecloth later, and I said it's like back to the roots because I wanted to show it's about your family in a way, and sort of like conjuring some kind of like family.
When you hear your family.
Maybe. But what I also like just see here, and I think when I think about you is that like there's no quantity. It's just olive oil, garlic. There's no like direction of how much. It's just, and that's I feel that's telling about you, that the cooking is just. I don't know. I sound together without being so like specific to details, maybe, or like so or like not attentive, but so it's I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the. There's a point in there.
There's like the reason I left out units in this is because I think that, you know, the ingredients are like the things that you have to have in this sauce in order for it to be a puttanesca sauce. But how much you put of different things, that's how you do it. That's like your signature. And in here I sort of like give like, in the text below, I give kind of like a sort of like suggestion. Like there's just like a part where I'm telling, because I made this for my sister to hang in her kitchen so that she can make puttanesca. I mean, she knows how, but you know, she's a real putana, so but it says like, you know, pour as much wine as you would like give me in a glass into this. And
but there's some like I feel it's very generous, maybe not to be so obsessed with
the quantity.
With the quantity. Well.
Thank you.
And then we're
very generous.
We're going to talk about two more works here. It's going to be this one, which is part of a series of 3, and then we have a ghostly presence in the end.
Haunting.
Yeah.
But not in Connecticut. Better mind.
Okay, but what are we looking at here then?
So this is a sort of deconstructed, or like, you know, when you transfer an image from being like to like a normal like dimensional image into a weaving, you flatten it out a lot, so it takes on like a more kind of modern or abstract vibe. But so this is like a pretty direct interpretation of the Botticelli Birth of Venus painting.
Yeah.
Oh my god, is it Botticelli or am I saying the wrong
I
name?
think it is.
I think it is, right?
I'm pretty sure.
So if you were to Google the painting, you would see that there is like an angel here and an angel here.
Yeah.
And there's like,
blowing winds.
I don't know if you can see it, but there's like 2 layers of green here and below, and there's like 1 layer of the green, because it's like really similar colors in the painting. Yeah, and this is like the land, and this is the Venus being born coming kind of like to the thing, and it just looks also like a penis, like a penis.
That's interesting.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That interests you?
Very much so. I'm like preoccupied thinking about dicks all the time. But, you know, as like Eros and, you know, who isn't?
But we talked about weaving earlier, and you were talking about like stitching things together, because there is so much stitching here. We have the stitching of like art historical references, but also there's a garment from one of your family members.
So this work, all of the works are sort of like representations of different members of my family. And so I had my family wear like shirts that they had like once worn pretty often that I would like remember them in. And I asked them to wear everything and like eat dinner together, and then the next day put those shirts in the mail for me. But I don't actually know if they ate that. You can't trust them. They're liars. So maybe they ate dinner together, maybe they didn't, wearing the shirts. But also all the fabrics and all the colors in the fabrics are like things that I could imagine them wearing. And there is like a piece of their clothing woven into it. And like, you know, I think it's supposed to like give an energy, like a human energy to the work. But
yeah, or like their presence somehow.
Yeah, like a piece of them rubbed off onto it.
Yeah. And
got now woven into this.
I was going to because living here, do you miss your family?
I do, and you know, like Corona, and like it's all of these Italian references, and also like sort of this whole show was coming together in my mind, sort of like as we're like watching Corona sweep over Italy, and I'm reminded of all of these like beautiful things about Italy, and then I'm like, I got some of that, and then I miss my family, and so I think it's part of that, but I think that also a lot of my work is about trying to reach things that I can't reach in this dimension.
Yeah. Because you talked about earlier about you had done some research on your family and so on, but I'm not sure if we're going to go there.
Okay, no, we don't have to.
No, but there's a stitching of like family histories and so on also.
Yeah.
But then what I thought was that you talked about spaghetti as like you compared spaghetti and your art somehow.
Yeah. Well. So first, it's like this like really obvious like connection between a tendril of fabric and the squiggly motion of spaghetti, and the way like fabric moves. I just feel like is kind of similar, and the way that, and also there's something like in the sauce, the way that like you can't separate two components of the sauce once it's in the sauce. Like it's all like in there. Like if you put like a little piece of meat, the whole thing is like not vegetarian friendly anymore. So I think that that's kind of how my work is. Then the ideas and stuff get like mishmashed into and.
But we also talked about earlier this thing of nourishing, that the spaghetti is the very nourishing.
Yes. Yeah, I want my work to be like something that is like Martin Kippenberger has this thing that like art should be like social pasta, and like so people should be able to understand it from like the high, like from like the lower classes to the higher classes, and it should be. And I agree with that, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why I work with sort of like folksy, accessible techniques and motifs and things like that.
I think that's also like you had the last weekend. You had this Valentine's special
That's right.
in the show.
Yeah.
If you want to talk more, what was the concept?
Well, we wanted to like make a romantic moment, because this is unfortunately like not a great time. I don't know. You can't like go on a date.
No.
If there was no something going on in this world that I don't want to mention, then I would love I had this like vision of like a really big like spaghetti dinner in here.
Yeah.
Which I think I talked to you and I was like, I want you to come, and I said it to some people, and everyone was kind of like, I was back
an
up.
event at opening.
Yeah. But there was just fear in everyone's eyes when I said that, so I didn't. So we thought that it would be kind of nice to make a thing where someone could come with their date on Valentine's Day, and you know, have me ruin it by talking to them about their work.
Did you serve them food?
No, only wine.
Only wine.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
We also plan maybe to talk about the ghostly. How are we on time? We can talk about the ghosts.
We can talk about the ghosts. Yeah.
Because here we have it's not on at this moment. Or
Here,
it can.
I'll give you a demonstration. Can you see?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's it's a very low tech hologram.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, Andreas, you and I have gone down the road of the turn of the century together in our second and last Be Safe for Kids that we made.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, where we talked about, so that sticks with me, thinking about the turn of the century so much as we did. And this Pepper's Ghost hologram was invented in the late 1800s. So
as a theater kind of technique.
It was I think it was for like theatrical productions of like Hamlet or something.
Yeah.
Because there has to be a ghost, and there's all these ways to do it, and it's really mystical to have like something that's tricking your eyes, and we're a little bit used to this thing now.
But at least like a higher definition.
Yeah.
More sophisticated ghosts, maybe.
Yeah, but I wanted to see how pared down it could be.
Yeah.
Like I even didn't want it to be like a piece of plexiglass like hanging down from the thing. Just because that seems so connected to stuff that you would like see. It's like now you go in coffee shops and there's like little plexi things like everywhere. So I wanted it to be sort of also like feel like fabric work.
Yeah.
So I stretched it over stretcher bars, and I think in a way it kind of ends up looking like a painting. That like like a painting leaning in the corner, and then you're like, what is this?
But at least there's this hologram pizza tablecloth, pizzeria restaurant tablecloth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to talk about the tablecloth?
Maybe just to conclude with the tablecloth.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the tablecloth specifically I think connects to, generally like the show, you know, and kind of reflecting on, you know, I'm from New York, and I'm like an Irish and Italian person from New York, like everyone else from there. And no, not like everyone else, but like a lot of plenty of people are like a little Italian and Irish in New York. And this is like, I don't know.
But what is it about the ghosts that interests you? Or like being haunted?
Well, I was thinking about like death, you know, and having an absence.
Yeah.
And wanting to like fill that absence with something like real. Like a ghost, like if you believe in ghosts and you really believe that like some dead person is like coming and entering your life. And I sort of wanted to make that this moment of like, whoa, like, am I seeing a ghost right now? for the audience as a reflection of something that we do feel, not necessarily in like the ghost sense, but like how I said, how like if I'm just gonna say something that I said earlier, like all over again.
Yeah.
Like if I die, or if you die, or like if someone dies, they're like their body and their like their like real presence is no longer, but all of the illusions and like the thing that they've built up about their life, like the impression they give off, is still there, and that's kind of like a ghost. Also, maybe they will haunt you and actually be a ghost. And I think that maybe life is more, there's more of this like illusion and interpreting impression than you think. Yeah. And then also like truth is like, oh my god, what is true even sometimes?
Yeah. But I also mean, like things sticks, they don't go away.
No.
They go back to walking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but I think we conclude our little tour of the exhibition now.
Okay, thank
you for watching.
Do you have anything, oh, maybe, no, okay. All right, goodbye.